while doing the rounds and talking about everything related to the MCU that's currently going on, Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige addressed the previous rumors that Doctor Strange has changed completely in regards to what they originally set out to do. And he talks a little bit about the original inception of Doctor Strange 2 and how the sequel is more or less keeping up with the same thing because it was always intended to be a darker film. So you guys have probably all seen the way overblown and over-exaggerated takes on what originally Doctor Strange 2 was supposed to be. Because originally they said it was going to be a darker film, it was going to have horror elements, it was going to be something that's the darkest thing in the MCU so far. Outlets and journalists ran with, this is a horror film, which was never stated, but that's kind of the narrative that it got. Once Sam Raimi was added to the film, people said, well, it can still keep the horror thing now because obviously it's Sam Raimi, right? But it's probably not going to be the same or as scary. Kevin Feige wanted to clarify recently during multiple interviews on what originally changed since the original Doctor Strange. Now, obviously, instead of being just a straight-up darker film that has one singular focus, because the multiverse wasn't the plan at the time, from what we understand, that's one of the major additions. But he did say that due to creative differences and everything that happened, it's still largely the same idea and concept. It's about a darker universe. It's about Doctor Strange seeing this darker time. It's about everything that's going on being presented in a more horror-like, terrifying manner. That's all still here. The original vision, the thing that they wanted for the original film is still here. They just changed everything else around it, like adding the multiverse. So, to make this simple, imagine if Batman, they were like, hey, we want to make a detective film. And they still made The Batman, it's a detective film, but it had just more action. Again, it's technically the same film. Yes, he's still doing all the detective work, but you got an additional 15 minutes of action, right? And maybe they removed a little bit of detective work from somewhere in the film. Again, it's a balancing act, but you still get the same end result. That's kind of what I'm understanding that he's saying here. Yes, the size and scope of the film changed. Yes, it did go through rewrites, but it's still dark. It's still a more sinister film than the first one. And that's kind of what he's trying to get across multiple interviews. The fact that they changed direction and the fact that they said they were originally going to be darker, that hasn't been changed. They've just increased the size and scope of everything around it to be able to accommodate a new direction for the MCU.